Hi, welcome back to That's Not Real podcast. I don't know what episode we're on because last week was supposed to be ABC and he did
Yeah, I don't
2022,
do
23,
ABC anymore.
24.
That was getting way too confusing.
So this is the next episode, but week one of the NFL predictions of each thing. So this is an NFL podcast, and there we go.
All right, so we're gonna start, and there's a lot of NFL things we can get to, especially now that the preseason's over. We can talk about cuts and stuff like that, but and some trades that have recently happened. We are going to get to who's going to win each division, but I want to say if you saw the few trades that happened in the last couple days.
Yeah, I told my brother about Trey Lance. He didn't know about it.
Yeah, there's also a trade. Patriots made a trade today with Cleveland for like backup offensive linemen for running back.
This one's not for Elijah Moore.
No,
They traded a running back, or they traded for a running
they
back?
traded their running back Strong.
Oh, I was like, what are they doing?
For some third string offensive tackle who's getting ready to get cut. So
No, that's fine. I just didn't understand why they were collecting running
no,
backs.
they got rid of Strong. So those are the only trades I saw. I'm sure it's going to be kind of crazy as the training camp cuts. Isn't this the first year where they have to cut everyone at once? Every other year it went from like
Yeah, I think so.
80 to 70 to 60. This year it's all at once.
Well, because they realized people don't play starters in preseason.
Yeah.
So
we need people. So
and this is prediction week, by the way. First things first, prediction week. So it's a good time for us to have predictions. It's following the trend,
oh,
Nick Wright, Broussard, Ken Wiles.
Okay. So we're gonna pick the division winners, have a discussion about each division, and we also have to pick like Rookie of the Year, MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. So
Sure,
we'll
can
see
pull
what we
those guys
get.
off the top of my head.
All right, so we're gonna start in the NFC West. To me, I mean this should be the easiest division in football. I don't care what Seattle did last year, where they played pretty well. This is San Fran's, hands down. They found a QB. They got a gem in Purdue, but they have so much talent around him. He could be garbage. No one would know. They have
Purdy?
Yeah, Purdy. Isn't that his name?
Yeah, you called him Purdue.
Oh, sorry.
He's not a
Purdy.
chicken.
All right.
I mean,
I
he did
was
have his
thinking that
elbow broken.
some old quarterback, but
No one's
not
named
him.
Purdue. People have come from Purdue.
no, there's a quarterback named Purdue. Oh, maybe it was Madden. He got Madden in my brain. I don't know.
Ah.
Probably someone I created once.
Yeah, no, I agree. San Fran wins. Seattle's probably in a wild card. Rams, I don't know.
Rams are gonna be awful.
You think so? They got a good coach.
All they got is Darnold. Or I'm horrible at names.
Geno Smith. They have Lockhart, Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean
They drafted
that's
another
Seattle.
wide
I'm talking
receiver.
about
Right.
Rams.
Oh, the Rams. Yeah, they still got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, but that's
He's
it.
unstoppable. You can't guard him.
No, he's a great receiver. Top 5 in
Right.
football.
Stafford stays healthy.
But
They'll be competitive.
They trade a bunch of guys. They're not going to be very good. I predict like 5 wins for them max.
They also-
Arizona, another team that
Yeah, they're going for their.
they're
They're
literally
the
getting rid of Simmons for like a 7th round pick, and
Their
they're
offensive
just
tackle,
basically
yeah.
like, guys, can you please just help us out? We want to suck because
They want. It's
we
a
want
Williams.
a high pick.
Yeah, it's a Williams.
We want that USC quarterback. All right. So that one's a pretty standard division. The next one's kind of an interesting division. I feel like it can go a number of ways. Yeah, the NFC South. I don't think it's a good division. I say it's an interesting division.
I think Saints take that easily.
Easily, huh?
Well, the gamblers, and I know this from watching Jason McIntyre, if anyone ever sees on the Herd Show, Jet fan, he talks about that. So the gamblers, so Vegas is heavy on Atlanta, the over for like 9 wins because of their schedule. I just don't trust Desmond Ridder as a quarterback. You can't win games without a quarterback.
I don't think. I mean, 9 wins that division. Now it could be Carolina's not a very good team, but good young quarterback. If he lives up to some of the hype,
They got weapons, good coaching.
They could win
yeah.
7, 8, 9 games. I think it's just one of those divisions where it's a crapshoot. I'll say it probably would be Atlanta, but again, I don't think it's going to stand out. And no team in this division, in my opinion, makes the wild card.
Best team, best roster, best quarterback is the Saints. Derek Carr by far is better than every other quarterback in that division.
You're probably right there. He is the best quarterback. And depends how the receivers play out health wise.
Yeah, Michael Thomas, Kamara. Kamara's suspended for a while, but yeah. But I think the experience wins early until Carolina gets it.
And I do like Carr. I think he's a good quarterback. They don't have much of a defense that I remember.
No one has a defense. in that division.
That division.
Remember, Tampa won that division last year with Brady with like under 500.
Right. Yeah, it's just not a very good division. Tampa's another team that could win 7, 8, 9 games, but I don't think they're going to care that much.
No, Baker's not winning that. They just lost the center for the year.
Did they?
Yeah, Ryan Jensen, the Pro Bowl center. They're going to trade Mike Evans at the deadline because he's expiring at that. He's a free agent at the end of this year. You're not going to franchise him. So they're another team, I think, going for it.
You never know because they're going to be in contention just because of how bad the division is.
I don't know.
All right, so going to the interesting NFC North, and here's where you start to hear all the hype of Jordan Love. Is he going to be really good? But I think this is going to be Detroit's division.
That's all the hype for Detroit. I don't know. Minnesota and Kirk Cousins, they're just consistent.
I mean, they do have the best offense. They could.
And they lost Cook. They have that other running back, but Jared Goff was last year an anomaly, or is that who he is? Like it seems weird that McVay, who's an offensive genius, said he's not good enough, gave up 2 first-round picks, and him to get Stafford. He gave
I just say Detroit has the best defense.
I think they threw a lot of people off by guard last year,
and I think they play just very well as a group. So I think they're well coached.
I think they got a lot of lucky. Minnesota got lucky too.
I don't think Green Bay is gonna. I think people are gonna understand the lack of weapons that Rodgers had around him last year.
Right,
although
this
they
year
could take a step up. Christian Watson, I do think, is a good receiver.
Well, Watson, Hobbs, whatever his name is, now have 2 years. This is their second year, so it's a little better. However, I don't think they would have given Rodgers that $50 million contract and all that if they thought Jordan Love was good.
Yeah. So and I think Chicago added a lot of weapons. I still don't think they come out of the basement of that division.
I mean, who knows? I don't.
Justin Fields, great runner. He hasn't proven anything about being able to pass the ball, and the challenge is quarterbacks like that can win games all by themselves. Lamar Jackson, you see it, like they can win games all by themselves until they get hit, and all of a sudden that leg's sore, and then they don't know what to do.
Right, Fields lost time last year. Those quarterbacks have that's why Josh Allen is saying he's not gonna run as much.
Yeah,
because it starts taking away their career. Cam Newton was good. Great, I guess, and then
couldn't
bad.
run, and because then all of a sudden
he's like, whoop.
They're like, oh well, they're great passers too. Yeah, until you don't. Instead of having 2 people spying you, they're out in coverage.
Well, yeah, and that's why we
it's
get
kind
to
of that old Michael Vick when you used to watch tape. I used to tell you all the time, all they do is throw, and he was perfect. They had the routes. All you had to do is throw straight. But because they had a spy there,
right.
It was different levels. So if you take away that running ability, all of a sudden you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that division. I'm gonna say Minnesota. I don't know. We'll see.
All right, so going to the NFC East, a lot more competitive than was expected last year. A lot of that because the Giants were better than people expected. I think they fall back to earth a little bit this year.
So I don't understand all the love for Daniel Jones. Like,
it's all Saquon Barkley.
If you take away his 2 games against Minnesota last year, he's not good.
Yeah, I mean, that whole offense is predicated around Saquon Barkley, which is funny because he's not the one.
He's not the one who got paid.
He's not the one who got paid. I mean, I still think it's Philly's division to win. They have a great offensive line. They have 2 crazy good receivers.
Philly, Jalen Hurts is getting better. Their defense is still good. They lost a lot of coaches, so they might start off slow. And then Dallas, I think it's between Dallas and Philly. I don't think New York's even going to be good this year.
I just think Philly is their offense with those 2 receivers is just too hard to guard. You can't single team either one of them. And because Jalen Hurts can run.
Well, if you have a sauce, you can.
Yeah. Well, not both of them. Well, yeah, he can only guard
Reed.
Yeah, we got DJ Reed too. So, yeah, we can guard him.
And Cowboys have Doug. What's his name?
CeeDee Lamb.
No, the cornerback was really good. He's top 5 cornerback. He can guard one-on-one too.
Well, he gets burned a lot, but he's so good at getting interceptions.
Right.
He's a very hit or miss guy. All right.
So I'm gonna say Dallas. I don't know. Dallas could fall apart. I'm gonna say Philly wins the division. Dallas and Seattle.
I still got Philly. So in the NFC, I'm kind of on par with what most people would say. With the whole Detroit, Philly.
Right. So we have
San Fran. I mean, it's really the NFC South, which I don't think any experts.
And who are the? So we got. I have Philly, Minnesota, New Orleans, San Fran,
Yeah.
and then wild card, just 3 of them. I have Seattle, Dallas. I don't know who the third would be.
So I think the third one's gonna be
I'll say the Lions for the third. I don't.
so the third one I think will probably be the Giants.
I don't think so. I think
Possibly Minnesota because I don't have them win. So Giants or Minnesota would be my third one.
Giants gonna have a bad year. The minute Barkley has
Very
something,
possible, but I'm looking at all these teams. I wouldn't put them. I wouldn't put Washington ahead of them. I wouldn't put Chicago ahead of them. I don't want to touch the NFC South.
well, you gotta look at it. Remember, so the Giants have to play Dallas twice and Philly twice, whereas
But
the
they did
Giants.
last year too, and they won.
Yeah, and Dak imploded.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like I'm talking about wild card.
Right, but I'm saying so you gotta go by division wins, which is easier. I just think.
Yeah, difference of opinion. So Echo, who do you have winning it? No, he's not gonna win it. I'll go.
No. What
So,
did? No, don't
moving
win.
on to the AFC.
Here we go.
I don't know why it happens. It comes out of nowhere. He just brings out the best of them. I'm just saying.
Don't eat Dobby. Okay.
So he's showing this as a forearm tackle. All right. So going to the AFC. We have the AFC West, and this is why it's hard for us to be serious. And just note, normally we do these podcasts at his house because the dogs can be a little disruptive at times. But they ate chocolates today, so I need to keep an eye on them. So that's why I'm not just throwing them outside. All right, so going to the AFC West, we have Kansas City, Chargers, Vegas, and Denver. I mean, and not choosing Kansas City is going to make me worry about them.
Yeah, unless Mahomes gets injured. I mean, they don't have a lot of weapons, so the backup's not going to come in and win a lot of games.
Well, I think the key to them, obviously, when it comes to playoff times, is Kelsey healthy.
Oh yeah, Mahomes. But what I'm saying is Mahomes. The only way someone else wins the division is if Mahomes gets hurt.
Or Kelsey. I think that hurts them too.
Even if Kelsey gets hurt, they're still going to win the division.
Maybe.
Like,
there's
a lot of love for the
I
Chargers.
keep calling them San Diego, but I think the Chargers are a good team.
They're a good team. They got a new offensive coordinator.
Well, they got great pass rushers with Mack and Bosa.
Sure, I mean you can say Chargers might compete.
I think they compete, but that's only with a Kelsey injury. Without an injury,
without injuries, that's easily Kansas City. I don't think it'll be as big as it was previous years, but that'll be there.
yeah.
Chargers I have as a wild card maybe. Because
Right.
I think Denver's gonna suck. By the way, this whole Russell Wilson
Yeah,
love that Peyton's gonna save him.
And now there's weird stories of would they bench him?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird noise
Like
coming
would
out
they
of that
dare bench him? Why would they have to do that if it's not his fault? So we'll see. And I think the Raiders are proving that it's amazing how someone can coach a great offense when he's on the Patriots and he knows the other plays. But also, and everywhere else he coaches, they can't win anything.
Yeah,
So-
Tom Brady made those guys look good.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the AFC South with Jacksonville, Indy, Tennessee, and Houston. I'm gonna say something probably a little different. I'm sick of all the Jacksonville love, which I'm sorry because my son Alex is a Jacksonville fan, but I think they've been getting too much love. I actually think Tennessee's gonna come back and win that division. Good second year receiver, well coached team, great running back.
First of all, it's Tannehill. Who's he throwing the ball to?
I forget the receiver.
Yeah,
name, but
he's
good second year receiver.
He wasn't great last year.
He wasn't great.
Oh, no,
I
I thought he was gonna be great.
I just don't see Jacksonville. I think they're more of a fluke team last year.
Lawrence is good coaching.
Indy, I think they're going to lose Jonathan Taylor, who's their best player.
He's not going to care.
And Houston could be a wild card team, in my opinion.
Without
They had so many good picks. They kind of remind me of us last year, so they could start strong. They had a lot of high picks.
That's Jacksonville gets the number 1 seed because their division's so easy.
All right, going to the AFC North. This is like the division of teams I hate.
This
So
is the
always a
division
hard one.
of everyone thinks every single team in the division is great,
Yeah,
and it can't all be great.
I personally think it's going to be Cincinnati. I mean, yeah, Pittsburgh, I don't think it's going to be very good.
Well, because you don't
I
trust Kenny Pickett at all.
I hate Kenny Pickett. For those that don't know, he's probably one of my least favorite quarterbacks. It's Mac Jones to him. I think Kenny Pickett's the same way he sees Mac Jones. It's like, oh, he's the worst thing ever.
You mean Alabama Mac? That's what he's calling himself now.
Is he? He's not in Alabama anymore.
He's going back to Alabama Mac, where he had the best weapons over real
Sweet home Alabama.
That's where he needs to go.
So I think Cincinnati, they got one more year in them because then they're gonna have to pay Chase and Higgins and
right.
all
So
these
I mean
receivers.
that conference is all going to be who's the healthiest. If Joe Burrow's healthy all year, they win. Lamar Jackson's never healthy, and he's a running.
Yeah, they'll be great. Baltimore would be really good early because Lamar Jackson will be fully healthy. His legs will be good to go, and then he'll slow down like they do every year.
I think that division is going to be between because OBJ is going to get pissed when he doesn't get the ball. I think that division is going to be between Cincinnati and Cleveland. It all depends on which Deshaun Watson is. Is it Alabama Watson or Clemson Watson?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cincinnati runs away with it, but I do think
Cleveland has such a good roster. They have everything but quarterback.
Yeah,
They got one of the best running backs. They got
who's their
plenty.
receiver?
Huh?
Who's their receiver?
They got some guys. I
Who?
can't name them right now. They got some guys. Oh, they got Elijah Moore, baby. He's gonna blow that up. Elijah Moore is gonna.
I think that whole locker room is one giant cancer, and that's gonna blow up on them.
Why would that locker room be a cancer?
Well, we know Moore was. We know Deshaun Watson's not exactly out there.
Moore just hated the offensive coordinator, and it looks like that's right.
Yeah, well, we'll see. To me, that's kind of all sorts of crazy.
If Nathaniel Hackett and Rodgers can make Zach improve more one off season than the offensive coordinator did in 2 years.
Don't get me wrong. He has talent. I'll never forget the game that he complained after we won.
He was asked a question about it.
I get it. I don't think we trade him if they don't feel he's a cancer.
He told the offensive coordinator, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
You fucking suck. That's our guy to keep around.
Yeah.
And they needed a second round pick to get a center because they were giving away their second round pick for Rodgers. If they don't have to give up that second round pick, they don't trade him.
And ironically, I have Cincinnati winning. Looking at everything, it's very possible that I have the Chargers and 2 AFC East teams in as my wild card. So it's Cincinnati and no one else win that division for me. So
I think Cincinnati and Cleveland battle for that division. And Pittsburgh. So I think that division is going to beat each other up a lot. So I think Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Cleveland are all very close.
Yeah,
and they're all going to beat each other up.
Good defense.
They got a good defense. Tomlin, when Watt is in there, they win. They got a good running back. They got Kenny Pickett. I don't know. He's an NFL quarterback. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Kenny Pick'em. Pick him again and again and again.
He can make every throw if you give him
he
time.
Can't make every throw.
If you give him every quarterback in the NFL can make every throw. If you give him
then
time.
What's the point of that statement?
I was just saying, like, he's not. I don't think he's gonna lose them games.
I do. I absolutely do. He lost some games last year. It's just no one wants to blame it on him.
Well, he was a rookie. You can get away with that. Yeah. Trubisky. I mean, his back was Trubisky, so I don't.
Yeah. So let's say, and then of course the conference where we all know the Jets are winning the conference. AFC East.
If the offensive line stays healthy and Garrett Wilson,
by far the best conference in football after looking at everything we just looked at for all these teams.
You think so? I don't think New England's good at all.
I don't think New England's good at all, but they get every call in every game. So
I don't think they're gonna this year.
They have for 20 years. Until I see a game where they don't get the calls, I'm not gonna buy it. And I still think they record a whole bunch of signals and stuff like that.
Well, the NFL's down on them ever since he hired a defensive coordinator to run the offense with a young quarterback.
Hey, it's our mystery partner of our podcast. He doesn't show up very often. He looks like he's getting ready to box or steal my sock from the dog, and that's a little odd.
Maybe he's a wrestler.
So, Alex, say hi.
Hi.
All right, so we both agree New England's not very good, but Miami's clearly a really good team. Now, Tua could disappear and
right, and when his injuries time is different, right? If he gets a concussion,
he's done.
Well, he may not be done, but he's gonna be out for a long time. So it's not like he just takes a hit and then it's like, oh, okay, he's gonna miss a week and a half. He's gonna miss a long period of time.
Oh yeah. Oh,
now their backup is awesome.
Their backup, Mike White, who's out right now with a concussion because he can't stay healthy. He is a turnover machine that can't stay healthy.
Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame.
So again, we both have our favorites apparently, and we had a lot of debates on Mike White last year.
So Mike White, if you give him time, is an excellent quarterback.
Oh, he's one of those guys. If he was a starter for 5 years and he could go through all those mistakes, he is not he definitely does not fear the previous play.
Well, that's part of his problem is he's a pocket passer who's like, I'm invincible, and then he gets broken in half.
Right. So he
You're
does not know how to.
Like, wait, stop getting broken in half.
He does not know how to stay healthy.
They also got Barrios down there too.
But now they got their main guys got concussion problems, and their backup had a concussion. So if he gets hit,
That's why Skylar Thompson played the entire game.
Yeah.
I thought they were just trying to get
no,
him.
Mike White had a concussion.
Like Dallas
But
played
you
Will
look at
Greer the
skill
entire
players,
game to try to.
They probably have the best, if not one of the best, probably next to Philly. They have the best receivers in the league with Hale and Waddle. I'm probably higher on Waddle than most. I think he's
he's really good. But the problem is they're predicating their whole defense and went out and got Fangio, who's a good defense coordinator that's going to fix it in 1 year, and Jalen Ramsey, who got burnt and it's not even healthy.
Yeah, their defense was good last year.
Was it because they were playing Zach Wilson and Mac Jones twice a year?
Yeah, again, that's a piece of it. So, but I think they're going to be good, and if they get Jonathan Taylor, then that offense can be.
Well,
better.
no, Jonathan Taylor changes both stuff for Buffalo and Miami, but.
Yeah.
First of all, Tua was in a very short span that he lit the league on fire. Is that bad defenses? Like,
I think he's one of those. He reminds me a lot of Chad Pennington. He's a very accurate guy, but if he doesn't stay healthy, his career is over. And he also likes to run sometimes, so staying healthy is going to be even harder for him.
Yeah, no, he did.
And does it enter his head? Right? Oh, if I get hit, does he start to throw it half a second sooner?
I don't think he's that guy. He's been injured his whole life. I don't think he thinks. From the broken
now,
hip.
I have read that he came in pretty overweight this year, which is a little surprised.
He added weight to help him take the knocks. And a lot of it was he was doing jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. He was trying to build neck muscles because that's how what boxers do to stop getting concussions as much. Is I guess if you have a stronger neck, you're less. I don't know. There's some correlation in there.
It'd be interesting to me how that kind of hurts him or helps him. I thought maybe he had one too many concussions to start eating in the offseason.
And I still think Buffalo is third place. I don't know, man.
So you have
I
Miami
think,
in second place?
I think by default I do because I think Buffalo's going to implode. If they start off slow,
well, that's the thing.
It's going to blow up.
That first game is going to be so huge. If they beat us, I think they go through with a lot of confidence and keeps them together. If we beat them because Diggs doesn't get a lot of passes, then they are done.
And that whole locker room can explode because the other receivers are like, dude, you get the ball 80% of the time, you want it more. We're like, we need to eat too. And they still don't have a running game. So Josh Allen's not going to run. They can't run the ball at all. And they almost lost to Miami in the playoffs last year in the snow with the quarterback that can't play in the cold, supposedly.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I still think they're a talented team. In my opinion, I think Buffalo and Miami are 2 to 3 wild cards. And I think the Chargers are the third one.
I think it's Chargers. I don't think Tua's going to stay healthy. So maybe Buffalo. I still think Buffalo might just implode. It might all just break up. They got their ass kicked last year in the playoffs.
They did.
After almost losing to... No, wait. 2 of them play that game. Skylar Thompson almost beat up in Buffalo in the snow.
But again, I still think they're a very talented team. They still got a lot of playmakers everywhere. So.
They still haven't fixed their offensive line. They still don't have a running game.
But they do have a defense.
I mean, they went and got a second time. They do have a defense, and the defense is legit. But we know from last year, defenses can't win games by themselves. You have to score. Otherwise, we would have beat New England because we couldn't score.
Taking out, I don't care what anyone's like. The people hating on the Jets right now are giving the Jets saying they can't. It is absolutely ridiculous. And it's 50-50. There's people who, Jets have absolute shot. And then you have a lot of announcers, they have no shot. Jets are going to be a good team. I mean, the fact that I loved Salah yesterday. Were you expecting your starters to only play 7 or 8 plays? No, but it was clear they were ready.
I mean, he said going into that he's going to play them based upon a thing. He didn't have a set.
Right. But they were clearly ready to go. Our pass rush is crazy. Our corners are crazy. The only weakness on our defense is going to be how our linebackers play. And that's ironic because the league likes our linebackers more than we do. So I think our defense is going to be top 5, without question.
No, our defense did have some issues last year that people.
I think we'll force more turnovers this year too because we're going to score points. I mean, we still have.
So 7 wins, and it should have been more with the worst quarterback in the league, and then the defense. Well, defense was good. They play a lot of backup quarterbacks. You have to admit that. But they also were always on the field. And Rodgers doesn't need to be MVP Rodgers. He can't be last year's Rodgers. But
No,
last year's Rodgers had a
we
broken
have two
thumb.
good tight ends, 2 good running backs. In my opinion, 3 good running backs.
Three
and
okay
Michael
tight
Carter.
ends. 2 good running backs, an okay running back.
Our offensive line is obviously the question, but they've been playing really good. They've been playing really good in the preseason, and now that Becton's dominating at right tackle, and we got Vera Tucker.
Oh, man. I was like, what are you doing?
So
Are
it
you
comes down
leaving?
to Tomlinson saying hi to my other son. He was on the stairs. Tippmann is even getting praised, even though he's not going to start week 1 because of his injury. But
Right.
I think if he doesn't take over this year,
He'll take over next
he'll
year.
take over
McGovern's not
next
signed.
year. So our
whatever
big
it is.
key is going to be Dwayne Brown. How does he play in the left tackle? And it's health. Like last year, we lost like 7 offensive linemen.
Oh, yeah. We were playing 5th string right guards.
And you're seeing it. Max Mitchell has played awful, but compared to the guys he was replacing last year, he looked like he was incredible. So that tells you how bad.
So the Jets come down to, and the problem is can the... I mean, if Rodgers gets hurt, the season's over, especially if it's early. Zach Wilson can play probably for a game or so, but he can't. He's not going to win many games.
Say Garrett Wilson gets hurt
Right,
for
so
a long
Garrett
period
Wilson-
of time. Where
But he hasn't been shown to get hurt. The question is going to be the two tackles. If they stay healthy all year, it's a deep playoff run.
Yeah, if Becton and Vera Tucker on that right hand side,
I'm not worried. Tucker does
our
a fluke
run
injury.
game will be absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a monster.
with Brees Hall and Dalvin Cook because
Brees
we're gonna
Lightning.
wear people. We're gonna wear people down. I like that Brees Lightning.
Greeny from ESPN came up with that. That's what he calls him. Shout out to Greeny if you ever see this. Just saying, go Jet fans in the media.
Dalvin's cooking.
Dalvin's cooking. I don't like the sound as much as you do, but it allows Brees to come back slowly. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
a 1 year
he's
deal. I'm good with
Top
that.
4 in running backs and yards over the last 3 years is Dalvin Cook and like total.
Yeah,
yards.
there's some analytics of he wasn't as good. So
There's always if you're in the top 3 or 4 in the league, like break it up however you want. It's because one game he'll have a giant lot of. He doesn't. It's kind of like Barry Sanders. Oh, he gets tackled behind the line a lot. Yeah, he also gets 80-yard touchdowns. Like, I think our offense averages like 24 points a game this year.
How
which
can
is
you
huge.
dare compare someone to Barry Sanders?
I'm not saying he's Barry Sanders. I'm saying there was Knox and Barry Sanders for a few years when the whole Emmett versus Barry comparison for a while. Like, well, Emmett Smith doesn't get negative gains. Yeah, but if you watch him, the eye test just says he's good. I think
Yeah,
the
Emmitt Smith
analytics with Dalvin Cook
had 5
just says he's good.
Had 5 better offensive linemen, a better quarterback, a better offense all around. You give Barry Sanders Dallas's offensive line, and he's doing his moves.
You
at
know,
the second
I am
tier.
not comparing Barry to anyone because you know as well as anyone.
That's
That's
why I was
my
like,
favorite running back of all time.
What is going on?
I love Barry Sanders. I'm just saying the eye test shows things that analytics don't sometimes.
Yeah, he was doing moves that people still can't do.
Right. Now again, health is going to play a big role, but health you could do that. When people say that applies to every team in the NFL. I mean, the NFL.
Well, I go by
I mean, if Mahomes goes down to Kansas City, they're done.
right, but I go by how often guys have been injured. Like Mahomes doesn't have an injury history, so I'm not as worried about that as I am Becton getting hurt because Becton is always hurt.
Yeah.
Or Tua
I
is
get-
often
I
hurt,
get
so that
some
comes
of-
concern.
I get some of it, but I think.
I mean,
the
Philly, if
team
Jalen
that-
Hurts gets hurt because he scrambles, he's over.
Yeah.
And we saw Lamar Jackson gets hurt, Baltimore.
Well, I think if Philly gets hurt, I don't even care who their backup is. With the talent on that offense, they'll be okay.
And Cincinnati's offensive line's not good either. Right?
Yeah,
People
they've
people
never been
pass
good.
that. Oh, you don't need it if you have Joe Burrow. Well, then why does the Jets not need to have Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers?
Joe-
Because
Joe
he had a bad year
Burrow
last year.
May get hurt. You never know. Like there's definitely pieces of it all that matter, but it's usually the team that wins is usually the team that stays the healthiest, or one of them. You know, luck plays a part in.
Or you
winning in
have
the
a
NFL.
special quarterback like Mahomes.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that the Jets are going to end up being a wild card because something stupid happens. And then they have to play Kansas City week 1 because I think Jacksonville's getting the seed. I think Kansas City's the 2 seed. And the 2 is going to play the last wild card in. And that's my concern. I don't want a one
So
and done.
I'm not so concerned. Kansas City wouldn't be the team that worried me the most, even though I think they're a great team.
You do not want to go to Arrowhead in the playoffs and play Mahomes.
Yeah, if we could score on that defense, anyone can score on that defense. I think we just control the ball the whole
And
game.
Chris Jones not starting. They're going to start a little slower. So I don't think they're going to get the 1 seed. You do not want to be the 7 seed.
No,
I don't think.
don't get it wrong. I mean, Kansas City, all the respect in the world. No one obviously wants to play them, but I think we win the division. So
And we have a cold weather quarterback. And that helps.
yeah, I mean, if we make the playoffs, I'm happy. I want to get to the Super Bowl. If we make the playoffs, I'm happy. It's been a long drought.
You got to make the playoffs because that Otherwise, that number 1 pick is
Yeah. If we don't make the playoffs, then wow, it's going to be another year to be a Jet fan.
right. And so Nick Wright was talking about this, so I'm going to steal his stuff. I'm giving him credit for it as we go over time. He said, worst case scenario, and he's right. Worst case scenario is the Jets don't make the playoffs, like they win 8 games, but Rodgers plays great. Like the defense, for some reason, takes a step back, and Rodgers plays great, and they don't win. So Saleh gets fired, and Rodgers says, "Hey, I'll stay if Nathaniel Hackett becomes the head coach." So that is what will happen.
But I don't think
if the Jets don't make the playoffs, I think Saleh gets fired, and Rodgers says to Woody, who's going to do anything, make Hackett the head coach. And because Denver's going to suck, now if Denver does great, there might be a difference. There might be say, no, you didn't do good there. But
yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. From hearing Rodgers' interviews, he has nothing but respect for Saleh.
No, I'm saying, but when Woody,
again, but I don't see it going that route.
Because Jets are always firing head coaches.
I really think our head coach is a really good head coach. I think our GM's good. If you look at our talent of our team now compared to 4 years ago,
no, we could do a whole podcast on this. No, Joe Douglas has had 1 good draft. The rest of it, you got to stop with that.
Look at roster from now to 4 years ago.
You're comparing
one position that isn't better from now to 4 years ago.
Linebacker.
Who was our linebacker before
Mosley? He went after Lawson, who has done nothing. His one, the only draft pick still on the team right now from many years ago is Michael Carter, and they're talking about trading him until Bam started fumbling the ball, and Elijah Vera Tucker.
Look at the roster as a whole, and you tell me where we're much worse.
That doesn't matter if you're good. Just because McCann was terrible,
you can't say the GM is to bring in more talent.
But when your talent's at negative you bring in 50, then you have a lot more talent.
Our talent is great.
Oh,
we have talent everywhere. We just talked about winning. He had one good. It's not just Aaron Rodgers.
He had 1 good draft. He does not get many more.
The team went from a talent roster where people went to a talent roster where people like, damn, they got talent everywhere across the board.
1 good draft. The center was already there. He didn't improve he hasn't improved the offensive line other than Vera Tucker.
So you just said you expect Tippmann to become a good center.
I expected, but I expected other guys in previous years to become.
Vera Tucker is a good player.
Right, Vera Tucker is a good player. Back then, we don't know.
Breece Hall is a good player.
That was. Is he? Hang on, because he looks like great. But if he keeps on breaking his knees, then no, he's not a great player.
I refuse to go by. Oh, someone got hurt, so therefore it wasn't a good pick. The guy never got hurt in college once. You can't predict the future on injuries.
You can predict injuries when you sign Carl Lawson, and he's hurt every single week, and then he's hurt now. Shocked. Like his free agency's his only free agent that he's brought in is DJ Reed. Everyone else has been a bust free agent wise.
If he can't draft and he doesn't sign free agent, how do we have a talent-filled roster?
He had 1 good draft, and he got lucky with a couple.
We have 22 players from that draft.
We don't have 22 great players. First of all our linebackers I still don't think are good.
So I think,
and he got Quentin because he was Quentin's brother. Does that count? I signed your brother.
Oh shit, that guy's other people, but he's not garbage.
Mosley was there before him. Our best linebacker was McCann, or whatever it was that gave him like $80 million.
Our whole secondary are people he brought in.
1 good draft and 1 good free agent. I said that.
DJ Reed, what about Whitehead and the Troy Clark and
the guy that no one else wanted that's playing great? That's not a great pick by the GM. He brought in 80, 90 guys. A couple of them are doing good.
Our roster is one of the top 5 rosters in the league.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
From top to bottom?
Lazard's not the best number 2 corner.
He's not. No, but we have 3 or 4 good. Obviously, Corey Davis.
What I'm saying is, Saleh made a lot of bad calls last. Not calling that timeout, playing the quarterback carousel, not calling that timeout. I forget who it was against Detroit or whatever it was.
He wasn't perfect.
It was terrible. And Joe Douglas. Look at Joe Douglas' first 2 drafts. Are any of those players even in the league?
Well, I also look at his
first Denzel Mills. Denzel Mills just got cut by Detroit. We don't even get that 6th-round pick now.
I look at the drafts. It's a little interesting because, remember, after the first draft, he got rid of all the scouts. So he had 1 year, so maybe he had 1 bad draft.
He was scouting teams. It wasn't like he was out of the league.
No, but I'm sure those scouts means. I'm just saying, our roster is so much improved to where it was 4 years ago. You can nitpick. Oh, it's only 1 good draft. It was a great draft.
Right, but he's had like 3 bad drafts around that.
But we have good tight ends, good receivers, good running backs. We have a quarterback. We have solid offensive linemen, although not the whole thing. We do have holes.
If Michael Carter
Our
was
defensive line is
Michael
great.
Carter's a good, okay running back. If he was as great as you're saying, you wouldn't have signed Dalvin Cook because you wouldn't have needed him.
Well, one, I feel like Dalvin Cook's a great player, but you look on defensive line, same thing. We have like 6, 7 good defensive linemen.
Quinnen Williams was there before him.
Okay. Jermaine Johnson.
Last year's draft.
Bryce
He said he had
Huff.
one draft. Huff, he gave a second round tenure. He just picked him up on some waiver wires, and all of a sudden he became great.
Wait,
That's
he
part of.
picked him up.
But anyone could have picked it. Like he
But
brought
no,
in like
not everyone did. He did. You can't say he doesn't.
he
get
didn't
credit
pick him up because he said, "Oh man, look at this guy. He's really good." He didn't even try to keep him around. He's been trying to trade him.
He didn't think he was good.
No, he was brought him in as just a guy. As a
McDonald's
body.
looking like a good draft pick.
We'll see that. We'll see.
Sitman's looking like a good one.
We'll see. You can't go by this year's draft for a couple of years, unless they make an immediate improvement. Like last year's draft, you can look at it and say, okay, he got the first 3 picks right.
He's gotten a few good unsigned free agents or undrafted players that have been good.
But every team gets that. If you bring in 30 people, a couple of them are bound to be good.
I'm just saying, like, we have a lot of talent on our team.
The safeties are okay, and the safety that he traded for got hurt. The other safety that he then signed got
the player who
going to make the
didn't
team.
get hurt, his whole career got hurt, and that's his fault.
Well, I'm just saying, like he traded for a safety. That safety's not starting.
Because he got hurt.
And then he went and signed the Green Bay safety. He's not going to start. The guy that just randomly showed up one day that hasn't been in the league, all of a sudden, he's playing great, and he's going to start.
He's going to start because...
Ashton Davis. I'm surprised that dude's still on the team.
He's actually playing really well in the preseason.
The best pick he had until last year's draft, the only guy that was still on the team was Ashton Davis and the punter. And the punter's not even there.
Some of that is because of injury. Because Becton is a good pick.
How is he a good pick if he's always injured?
Okay, again, you can't... Did he get injured in college?
What?
Did he get injured in college?
Yeah, the scouting on Becton was going to be, he's going to gain too much weight, he's going to be injured, he's not going to be able to play.
The scouting
Yeah, the scouting was too bad. He passed on Tristan Wirfs for Becton, and Wirfs has already been in a couple Pro Bowls.
Yes, under Tom Brady. I think that mattered.
No, he made a Pro Bowl before Tom Brady went there.
I don't think he did.
He did.
I don't think he did.
He did. You can look that up. You can look it up right now.
We're going to have debate. So, for all those Jet fans who might be watching this, tell us, is Douglas doing a good job? Has he done a good job? And is Becton...
he's been there 5 years.
Becton good?
He's been there 5 years, had one good draft. And he got a couple players.
As I said, we want to hear from you guys. So we didn't get to MVPs or Defensive Player of the Year, so we'll have to save that for next week. We do have one more preseason week, so that might be a good...
Yeah, but all the games are done today.
Yeah, but that's okay. We'll see teams
so
after
there's
cuts.
no injuries coming through.
All right, so... Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good weekend. And I did the point. It's weird. I'm on this side. You're supposed to do the point.
I am, but